Good day, sir. My name is Cheng Wei Ning, and today I would like to recommend the movie Parasite. Parasite is released in 2019, which is directed by Bong Joon-ho, which introduced to audience issues like inequality, class conflict, and underlying tensions between the rich and the poor. The two families from different social levels are essential to the story. The Kim family, made up of Ki-taek and his wife Chung-suk and their kids Ki-woo and Ki-jong, resides in a small semi-basement apartment that is situated in a district that is plagued by poverty. They work odd jobs to make ends meet, which makes them struggle to meet ends meet. However, they gain employment with the wealthy Park family due to the son Ki-woo's friend offered to recommend Ki-woo for a tutor position, which is to tutor for the Park family daughter Da-hye. The Park family, which consists of Dong-ik, his wife Yeon-kyo, and their kids Da-hye and Da-sung, resides in an elegant mansion in an wealthy area. The Kim family successfully manipulate their way into various positions within the Park family, with Ki-taek becoming the driver, Chung-suk as housekeeper, Ki-woo as tutor, and Ki-jong as art therapist for the Park family's son, Da-sung. The delicate balance between the two families is threatened as the plot progresses by a number of unexpected occurrences and discoveries. The narrative suddenly becomes gloomy at this point, revealing the complexity of human nature and the length to which people will go in order to increase their social standing. The protagonists of Parasite are basically the Kim family, which are Ki-taek, Chung-suk, their daughter Ki-jong, and their son Ki-woo. They are shown as intelligent, resourceful, and motivated by a desire to escape poverty. Even if their actions are morally questionable, they are driven by their current predicament and a desperate endeavor to improve their life circumstances. Without knowing the Kim's true motive, the Park family serve as antagonists since they stand in for the wealthy upper class and the prevailing social injustice. The relationship between the two families is strained by the income gap and the ways in which the wealthy exploit the poor, both of which are criticized throughout the film. Now, let's talk about Ki-taek, one of the main characters. The Kim's family father, Ki-taek, portrayed by Song Kang-ho, gained his employment with Park family by becoming their chauffeur, and he is the one behind the decision to snoop into the Park family household. There are few individual behaviors that Ki-taek holds. Firstly, in terms of individual behaviors, personality, and values, Ki-taek holds the resilience and resourceful personality. His behaviors demonstrate the ability of adaptability and resourcefulness, which motivates him to improve his family's financial situation and social standing. His role perception is shaped by his social position as a member of working class in ways that contradict his moral principles and force him to make dubious decisions. In terms of perception of self and others, Kita initially feels hatred towards the wealthy because he sees himself and his family as victims of their circumstance. However, his perception of himself starts to change as he infiltrates the Park family. He begins to believe that he is capable of adopting a higher social position and acting in a wealthy manner. His perception of the Parks also changes as he notices their arrogance and ignorance at the same time. He holds certain belief about his workplace and his role within it. At first, he has believed with sense of resignation and acceptance of his lower social status. He could think that his chances for advancement are limited and that he would always hold a lower class position. Hitek goes through a variety of emotions at birth. Due to the little opportunities available to him and the power relationship between him and his employers, he may occasionally experience feelings of compliance and frustration. His behavioral intentions at work are influenced by his belief and emotions. In the beginning, he acts in the ways that are consistent with complying to the demand of his employers in order to keep his job and support his family. Due to the inherent power imbalances, financial pressures, and fear of losing his job, Hite endures a lot of stress at work. Hite Ki-taek's employee motivation makes him exert a high amount of effort. He is aware of the importance of his work and how it affects the welfare of his family. Ki-taek invests time and energy to ensure he meets the expectation placed upon him, whether he is driving the Park family or carrying out his duties. He exhibits resourcefulness and adaptability to handle the requirements of his employment despite limitations and challenges related to his social standing. For example, to secure employment so that he can elevate his family's social and economic status, he fakes his CV and goes to Mercedes-Benz retail shop to learn about the car's technology before he is interviewed by Mr. His performance is characterized by his skill for handling interactions with others, adapting through challenging situations, maintaining professionalism. The outcome of Ki-taek's employee motivation is his efforts and performance provide fruitful results such as maintaining his employment and ensuring a steady income for his family. In one sense, Ki-taek's decision-making and creativity are on display is when the Park family leave their house unattended while on a camping trip. Ki-taek uses the chance to invite his family over to enjoy the comforts of Park House. This scene shows Ki-taek's resourcefulness and thoughtful decision-making. They take pleasure in the luxurious environment and indulge in comforts and services that are typically beyond of their financial range. Ki-taek shows creativity in this situation by planning a makeshift feast for his family. They gather around the table and take pleasure in the food and the momentary break from their own difficult circumstances. Due to Ki-taek's creativity and decision-making, the vacant house was transformed into a place of joy and celebration. However, it's important to keep in mind that this scene also underlines how morally complex Ki-taek's decisions are. Although he is motivated by a desire to take care of his family, his actions involve lying and trespassing. The action highlights the conflict between Ki-taek's creativity and the questionable morality of his choice, which blurs the line between right and wrong. Next, let's go to team processes of Ki-taek. We will first watch a movie clip about the power and influence.
길을 워낙 잘하시나 봐요?
38선 밑으로는 골목까지 훤합니다. 핸들밥 30년 가까이 먹다 보니까 저절로 그리 됐지요.
저도 한 가지를 오래 하신 분들 중요합니다.
사실 이 직업이 단순하다면 단순합니다. 하지만 한 집안의 가장, 한 회사의 총수, 또는 그냥 고독한 한 남자와 매일 아침 이 길을 떠난다. 이건 일종의 동행이 아닐까? 이런 마음으로 하루하루 해왔습니다. 세월이 참 빠르네요.
역시 코너링이 훌륭하시네.
쉬워 보이도 이런 게 아주 기본적이면서도.
Influence in workplace. Firstly, the sources of power that Ki-taek experiences is the legitimate power as Ki-taek, who accepts the role as Park family's driver, is dependent on Mr. Park. The contingencies of power that affecting him is the substitutability as Ki-taek can be replaced by others anytime if Mr. Park decided to do so. In this sense, the power relationships between the boss and the employee are on display. The influence type of Mr. Park towards Ki-taek as the driver of the Park family is the silent authority which usually occurs between employee and employee. This type of influence is based on the legitimate power of Mr. Park to Ki-taek. The consequences of this type of influence towards Ki-taek is the compliances as Ki-taek is motivated by the good wage Mr. Park is providing to him, so that he can provide a better life for his family, which makes him perform his job well by being under constant pressure to act professionally and adhere to Mr. Park's instructions. The other team processes that Ki-taek holds is the lead. In one sense, Ki-taek orchestrates a strategy for his family to land a job with the Park family, demonstrating his transformational leadership capability. He builds commitment to the vision among his family members by laying out an organized strategy for entering the Park family in an effort to raise their socio-economic standing. As he describes the strategy in detail, Ki-taek demonstrates his strategy vision by taking into account the needs of the Park family and figuring out how his family could satisfy those needs. Ki-taek serves as a role model for his family by demonstrating the idea of upward mobility to showcase his own determination. Furthermore, he pushes his family to experiment with numerous identities and roles in order to fit into the Park family's house, which further encourages experimentation in the scene. Next, we will talk about the organizational process. We will first watch a movie clip about the organizational change management.
이게 살면 또 사라지나? 이런 데서도?
아니 뭐 땅 밑에 사는 사람들이 한둘인가? 반지하까지 치면 더 많지.
앞으로 어떡하려고 그래? 당신 계획도 없지?
난 그냥 여기가 편해. 그냥 아예 여기서 태어난 것 같기도 하고 결혼식도 여기서 한 것 같고 국민연금이야 뭐 나는 해당 없고 노후는 정으로 다 사는 거지. 그래서 말인데 나 여기 계속 좀 살게 해주셔.
When the former housekeeper Moon Gwang visits the Park family again and reveals that her spouse actually does stay in the secret bunker under the established stability and order within the household are disturbed by this disclosure, which starts a process of organizational change. In these scenes, Ki-taek and his family find themselves caught in the midst of the unfolding change, as he feels frightened by the potential exposure of their own dishonest acts and worries about losing their newly gained jobs. Ki-taek's reaction reflects the typical response of resistance to change. To reduce restraining forces, Ki-taek communicates with Moon Gwang's husband in an honest and straightforward manner in an effort to understand his viewpoint and the implication of their revelation. He exhibits empathy and a readiness of handling the problem at hand by paying close attention to what he says. Through negotiation, he considers several options and comes up with a strategy that allows them to keep control of the situation while guaranteeing Moon Gwang and her husband's silence. By coming to a mutually acceptable conclusion, Ki-taek aims to minimize restraining factors and reach a mutually satisfactory agreement. Last but not least, we have come to the conclusion for the character Ki-taek in Parasite. We will watch a scene about the climax of this character.
가만히 있어봐. 응? 야, 어디서 그 냄새가 나는데?
뭔 냄새?
김 기사님 스멜.
김 기사? 난 잘 모르겠는데.
진짜? 당신도 알 텐데. 은은하게 차 안에 퍼지는 냄새인데 그 뭐라 그래야 되냐 그거.
노인 냄새.
아니야 그런 거 아니야. 그 뭐야 그거. 아 그 오래된 무말랭이 냄새? 아 아니다. 그 행주 쌀물 때 나는 냄새 거 있지. 그런 거 없어. 아무튼 그 양반 전반적으로 말이나 행동이 선을 넘을 듯 말 듯 하면서도 결국엔 절대 선을 안 넘거든. 그건 좋아. 인정?
그래.
근데 냄새가 선을 넘지 냄새가. 차 뒷재료로 존나게 나오는 냄새가.
뭔 냄새길래?
몰라. 아무튼 뭐 말로 설명하기 힘들고. 가끔 그 지하철 타면 나는 냄새 있어. 그런 거랑 비슷해.
몰라. 난 너무 오래돼서 지하철 타본 지.
지하철 타는 분들 특유의 냄새가 있거든.
완전 파랗고 미세먼지 제로잖아. 어제 비 왕창 온 덕분에. 그치? 뭐 그 덕에 캠핑 나가리, 가든 파티 콜. 전화위복이지 뭐. 그러니까. 비 안 왔으면 어쩔 뻔했냐고요. 그리고 선물은 절대 사오지 마. 진짜로. 맞다. 자기 미니쿠퍼니까 그냥 우리 차고 안에 그냥 우겨 넣어. 그렇지!
담배하지 차! 김기사! 뭐해!
앰뷸런스 기다리고 늦어!
아빠 그만 좀 눌러. 눌러서 더 앞으로 가.
자기 던지라고! 자기 던지라고 그냥!
예스!
안녕하세요, 박사장님.
나 알아요?
리스펙!
The key success factors of this character is his ability to adapt. Despite having no prior experience as a chauffeur, he quickly picks up the necessary skills, imitates the actions of experienced drivers, and effectively completes his duty. He effortlessly assumes the attitude of a skilled chauffeur, making sure to present himself as polished and polite in his contact with the Park family. The other success factors of Kitek is resourcefulness and problem-solving abilities. His resourcefulness is demonstrated when he devises a plan to get his family employed by the Park family. He made opportunities for his family to fill in those gaps after observing the Park family members' shortcomings at once. This involved arranging the firing of other workers, including the housekeeper, in order to create jobs for his family members. However, one of the failing factors of Kitek is he encounters social constraints by feeling humiliated when the Park family makes a remark about his smell, highlighting their social standing and the prejudice they experience due to their class. Despite his resourcefulness and efforts, he is unable to escape the cycle of poverty because of social disparities and ingrained class structure. These obstacles keep him from obtaining long-term success and upward mobility beyond short-term career prospects. The other failing factor is his reliance on Park family. He depends on the Park family's employment to support himself and his family. As he is frequently forced to put the Park's family's wants ahead of his own, Kitek's activities focus on meeting their demands. This is demonstrated in the instant where Kitek is forced to make himself seem enjoying the process of preparing the Park family's son's birthday party, despite his semi-basement house is just destroyed due to the flood. This incident demonstrates how his dependence on the Park family restricts his ability to express his personal preferences and make decisions that whether to participate in the birthday party. And that's all from me. Thank you so much. Now I will pass to my friend Jayward.
Thank you, Winning. Hello, sir. My name is Jaywon, and I'll be talking about the Chung Suk, which is one of the main characters in the movie Parasite. Chung Suk is portrayed by Jang Hye-jin in the movie Parasite. She is the mother of the Kim family and as a housekeeper for the Park family. Chung Suk participates in the Kim family plan to snoop into the Park household and get her husband and kids jobs throughout the entire movie. Now let's move on to the individual behaviors of Chung Suk. Firstly, in terms of the individual behaviors, personality, and values, Chung Suk holds the strong will and resourceful nature personality. Her behaviors demonstrate the ability of strong work ethic and tenacity, which motivates her to eager about finding a solution to her family challenging situation. Her role perception is shaped by her loyalty and protection. She will not give up on anything to protect her family's safety, since she is strongly committed to ensuring to their well-being. In terms of the perception of self and others, Chung Suk initially sees herself as disadvantageous in society. She first viewed the parks as a representation of privilege and opportunity. However, her perception of herself starts to change as she becomes the housekeeper of the Park family. So she started to understand her own value and potential, but as time goes on, her perception of the Park family also changed as she noticed their weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Chung Suk feels stressed and hopeless due to the Kim family's financial difficulties and unknown future. So Chung Suk's emotions can be characterized as a mix of stress, anxiety, and internal conflict. The constant worry of being found out creates a sense of stress and anxiety for Chung Suk. Chung Suk's behavior and decision-making are influenced by the tension and worry she feels. It's driven by her desire to maintain the delicate balance between upholding their pretense and avoiding suspicion. She displayed a servile and deferential attitude towards the Park's family in the workplace. This behavior served to please her employers and prevent any suspicions that she might be an imposter. Chung-sook's motivation to escape her current living situation and provide a better future for her family drive her to put forth significant effort and performance. Chung-sook's efforts are characterized by her resourcefulness and adaptability. She is actively involved in the planning and execution of their scheme to infiltrate the Park household. This drives her to take risks and do unethical things to preserve their standings within the Park family. For example, she faked her identities and backgrounds to obtain jobs. The outcome of Chung-sook's motivation can be seen as a mix of success and consequences as she secured a stable employment and improved her living condition. Chung-sook has the ability to think quickly, adapt to the situation, and come up with a creative solution on the spot. For example, in one scene where the Park family returns impromptu from camping, Chung-sook quickly recognized the need to hide her family members who are pretending to be unrelated employees. She improvised by suggesting they hide underneath a coffee table and coordinates their movement with precise timing. Now, let's talk about the theme processes of Chung-sook in the movie. Now, let's watch a video clip.
빨리 치워버려 빨리. 잘 눌러야 돼. 잘못 눌러.
여보세요? 저기 아줌마, 짜파구리 할 줄 아시죠?
짜파구리?
짜파구리라고 다송이가 제일 좋아하는 건데 지금 바로 물 올리시면 시간 딱 맞겠네. 냉장고에 한우 체크살도 있으니까 그것도 좀 넣으시고.
아, 그러면 저 캠핑장은?
완전 난리 났었어요. 생난리. 캠핑장 계곡물이 불어가지고 다들 텐트 철수하고 아수라장인데 다송이는 집에 안 간다고 울고불고 버티고. 아무튼 도착 즉시 짜파구리. 알겠죠?
그럼 지금 거진 다 오신 건가요?
8분 후 도착으로 나오네, 내비에는.
8분 후 도착.
전화 끊고 바로 물부터 올리세요. 파이팅!
짜파구리가 뭐야? 야, 이거.
오셨어요? 다송아, 저거 봐. 우리 짜파구리 먹자. 짜파구리.
From the video clip just now, there are several instances of team dynamics and team communication between Chung-sook and her family in the scene. So firstly, the time-sensitive coordination among their family is perfect. Besides that, throughout the entire movie, they develop a secret code of communication to avoid detection and maintain their cover. This includes subtle gestures, signals, and shared knowledge, and also non-verbal communication. For example, the moment Chung Suk hung up the phone, her look made all her family members understand the current troubles. They don't need to communicate too much and just look at each other to understand what needs to be done next. They are able to communicate and act in a sync without the need for explicit verbal instruction. And continue to the example, they having clear roles and instruction in their mind despite not having any communication. And throughout the scene, the family members support each other in their respective tasks. They collaborate and work together towards a common goal, displaying a strong sense of teamwork. This shows how well their team dynamics work when they work together. Now we move on to the conflict and negotiation part. We can first watch a video clip.
뭐야? 어머, 제시카. 김기사? 뭐야 이거? 누르지 마요. 아버지. 팔.
아버지라고 하면 어떡해.
야. 어쩐지 윤기사 갑자기 잘릴 때부터 이상하더라니. 야,
아주머니,
니네 뭐
우리 얘기 좀 해요.
일가족 사기단 뭐 이런 거냐?
저기 동생은 얼어 죽을 아가리 닥쳐 이 개쌍년아. 내가 찍은 거 이거 사모님 번호로 전송할까 하는데 어떻게들 생각하셔?
여기 핸드폰 안 터지지?
지한테 잘 터지.
저기, 아주머니, 사실은 저희가 너무나도 여기서 일자리를 너무
시끄러! 듣기 싫고 어차피 이판사판이야. 다 같이 경찰서 가든지 감방에 가든지 이참에 에브리바디 끝장을 보자 이거.
아줌마! 미쳤어 지금? 그런 동영상을 보시면 박 사장님하고 사모님이 얼마나 놀라시겠어. 그 착하신 분들이 무슨 잘못이 있다고. 그분들한테 왜?
가까이 오지 마. 안 그러면 전송 버튼 눌러버린다.
아주머니, 진정하세요.
올라가자 여보. 당신 오랜만에 프레시한 공기 좀 마셔야 돼.
From the video clip just now, it highlights the intense confrontation between Chung Suk and Moon Gwang, which is the former housekeeper of the Park family. As the conflict escalates, Chung Suk establishes a common ground text by calling Moon Gwang as sister. So by establishing a sense of kinship, Chung Suk tries to appeal to Moon Gwang's empathy and solidarity as fellow domestic workers. This tactic aims to create a bond between them and potentially foster a mutual understanding that could lead to a resolution. While Moon Gwang established a position of power-based negotiation over Chung Suk and the family, Moon Gwang used her phone as a weapon of control and made threats to reveal the truth about the basement in an effort to seize control. Next, we talk about the organizational process. The organizational culture significantly influenced Chung Suk's experience while living with the Park family. The Park family is a prime example of wealthy, privileged, and socially significant culture. Chung Suk initially feels alien in this society because there is a definite gulf between the two families. For her family to survive and be successful in the plan, Chung Suk must adjust to the organizational culture of the Park family. By molding the mannerism, behaviors, and ideas associated with wealthy people, Chung Suk also closely monitors the interaction, way of life, and preference of the Park family in order to hold onto her position. She adopts more polished communication, transforms her looks to meet their standards, and even alter her behavior to satisfy their demands. By doing so, she wins acceptability and validity within their social circle. Lastly, let's conclude the character Chung Suk. In conclusion, Chung Suk's success is primarily driven by her strong sense of teamwork and capacity to fit into the Park family. They exhibit strong team dynamics and communication, which help them respond swiftly to shifting conditions and cooperate to achieve a common objective. Furthermore, despite first feeling like an outsider, She picks up on the mannerism, expectations, and behavior of the affluent family, which enabling her to blend in and keep her job as a housekeeper. However, the challenges she faces causes her emotional health suffers from the severe stress and anxiety she experienced due to their unethical activities and the continual worry of being exposed. Besides that, the organizational culture of the Park family, power dynamic, and social inequalities also disadvantage Chung Suk and her family, which reducing their agency and posing barriers to their outwards mobility. And that's all for my part. Next, I will pass it to my friend Zimi.
나중에 그만.
소리인데 태가 똑같아. 무슨 소리야? 올라간다. 제시가 그 자리에. 제시가 똑같아서 비슷한 데가 갔는데.
아니 그럼 우리가 제가 아까 다른 걸로 써야 저희 빨래 세제도 각자 다른 형으로 해야 되지 않을까요? 섬유 해제도 그렇고.
아니 그러면 빨래를 사람들을 다 따로따로 돌리란 말이야?
그게 아니라 반지하 냄새야. 이 집을 떠나야 냄새가 없어진다고.
아무튼 우리가 이런 고민을 하고 있는 거다. 이게 얼마나 행복한 고민이냐 이거지. 그죠? 아니 그 경비원 한 명만 뽑아도 말이야. 대졸자 3년제 500명 중에 몰려드는 이 시대에 니는 뭔 취업과 저는 취업했잖아. 맞나 보지. 우리 4명 월급 다 합쳐봐. 매달 그 집에서 넘어오는 우리 집으로 넘어오는 돈이 장난이 아니야. 네가 심사사는 네가 시대를 감사해주고 그 인형이 지금 놈이 시어봐는 지가 막 놈을 줘가지고 그놈 덕분에 너 이렇게 조절이 이 씨발 또 짠짠만 놔주고 하면은
오, 김기훈 방송하네.
오 맞다. 야야 이걸 왜?
와.
오. 완전
Okay, thank you, Jaewon. Good day, sir. My name is Izmin. Now I will introduce the key character, Kevin. Kevin is portrayed by actor Choi Woo-sik. He is the eldest son of the Kim family. Kevin is his nickname, and his real name in this movie is Kim Ki-woo. Under the character Kevin, he acts as a university student recommended by his friend to tutor the Park family's daughter, Dahi. He is one of the key characters that participate in the Kim family's plan, and he is the first person to snoop into the Park family's household. There are few individual behavior that Kevin have. First is individual behavior, personalities, and value. In this individual behavior, I use mass model to analyze Kevin's individual behavior. First is motivation. Kevin's motivation are driven by improving his family's socio-economic status. He has a strong desire to uplift his family and cause him to participate in the infiltration of the Park family's household. In one scene, when his friend introduced him to become the English tutor for the Park family, he seized the chance to get a steady stream of income. Next, ability. Kevin showed intelligence, adaptability, and resourcefulness. and his ability to think on his feet and make a quick decision. This enables him to navigate through the complex dynamic of the infiltration. For example, he showcased his ability when he effortlessly assumed the role of the English tutor. With his quick thinking and impressive teaching skill, he established a rapport with the Park family's daughter, Dahi, and gains the Park's trust. Besides role perception, he understands the significance of his position as a key member of the infiltrating Kim family and the impact it has on their overall objective. His role perception influenced his behavior and decision making as he strived to fulfill his responsibility effectively. For example, he knows that his position can gain trust to the Parks, so when Miss Park decided to find a tutor for his son, he catches this opportunity for his sister. And last is situational factors. The situational factors that he encounters within the organizational context shape his choice and behavior. The constant need for secrecy and the threat of being discovered influence his decision and the path he takes to achieve the outcome for his family. In one scene, they collaborated to control the former housekeeper couple in order not to expose their identities. Second is perception of self and others. First, self-perception. Kevin thinks himself is a capable and resourceful individual. He also thinks himself is a key player in the Kim family's infiltration plan. He believes his skill and intelligence make him indispensable to their plans. Next, others' perception. The way others perceive him in and outside the organization will affect his interaction and the overall flow of the plot. For example, Park family initially viewed Kevin as a professional and trustworthy tutor, which allowed him access to Park household and expose them to opportunities for manipulation. Next, perception of others. His perception of others within the organization, such as Park family, is involved in his ability to manipulate and exploit their weakness. He observes their behavior, identities their weakness, and uses the weakness to reach just his goal. Next is workplace emotion, attitudes, and stress. For the belief, he holds certain beliefs about the social economy hierarchy within society. He believes that his family impoverished status is unjust and that they deserve a better life. For the feeling, he faced a range of emotions, including hope, anxiety, despair, and guilty. This emotion came from the challenge, the conflict, and the ethical dilemma he faces. Behavior intention. His intention and choice are driven by his desire to get a better future for his family. He did whatever it takes to achieve his goal, including engaging in deceitful behavior and manipulating his employer. And last, stress. He faced a significant stress due to the high-stake nature of the infiltration and the pressure to maintain his emotional behavior. The fear of discovery and the pressure to maintain his role affect his emotion and decision making. And next is employee motivation. For the effort, he desire for upward mobility and improving his family's socio-economic status fuel his determination to success. For example, he acts high-level professional in his role as the English tutor in his first lesson to gain Park family trust. He prepares diligently for his lesson, shape a charm and engaging persona, and use his intelligence to gain an advantage. And for the performance, he constantly improves his skill, adapt to new situations, and outperform others to drive him to success. For example, his teaching method attracts Dahi attentions. This creates a positive impact to his infiltration plan. And last, for the outcome is he gains the trust of the Park family and getting a position of influence within Park household. This gains an advantage for their infiltration plan. And next is decision making and creativity. For the decision making, when he presented with an opportunity to become the English tutor for the Park family, he carefully weighed the risk and benefit. He strategically decides by furthering the Kim family's plan and set the stage for the direction of the plot. And next, creativity. When he faced with unexpected challenge such as the sudden arrival of the former housekeeper, he quickly develops a plan to protect his family's secret. His creative thinking allows him to react swiftly to ensure their deceptions are not undermined. Next, we will proceed to the team processes of Kevin. First is communicating in team and organization. He demonstrates exceptional communication skill in the movie. In one scene, the Kim family gathers in their semi-basement home to discuss their plan to infiltrate the Park family's household. Kevin actively participates in the conversation, listening attentively to his family members' ideas and providing constructive feedback. This shows his ability to engage in effective communication within the team, fostering a sense of unity and shared understanding. In a moment, while the Kim family works together to clean up the aftermath of a post-celebration in the Park family's house, when the Park family suddenly way back from the campsite, they communicate silently to avoid being discovered. He used subtle gesture and eye contact to convey instruction and coordinate their action, allowing them to seamlessly navigate the task at hand. Next, the power and influence in workplace. As the English tutor for the Park family's daughter, he recognized the authority associated with his role and strategically utilized it to manipulate perception and control the household environment. In one scene, Kevin gently exercises his influence over Dahi during an English lesson. Through his attractive demeanor and effective teaching method, he captivates her attention, gradually establish a bond of trust. This relationship enables him to affect Dahi's attention and influence the dynamic in the Park family to advancing his family strategy. Now we will proceed to organization process of Kevin. For the organization culture, the Park family, representing the upper class, exuded a culture of opulence, exclusivity, and detachment. Kevin observed and adapted to this culture to maintain his position. He learns to imitate the Park family's mannerism, adopting their refined speech, gesture, and behavior. He makes sure that he inconspicuous and effectively integrate into the Park family to preventing any suspicion from arising. For the organizational change management, in one scene, he was introduced through his friend to act as an English tutor in Park family. He adapted his mannerism, speech, and his appearance to seamlessly integrate into the new organizational environment. He also adapted to the changing circumstance, taking on various roles and responsibility such as the English tutor to fulfill their goal. As the plot unfolds, he demonstrates his agility and willingness to embrace change, adapting his behavior and modifying his identity to fit the new organizational environment. And for the conclusion, the key success factor of Kevin is his ability to adapt the role as an English tutor of the Park family, and he able to quick adjust his behavior to match their expectation and leverage his role. He acts the attitude of the professional tutor and agree with Mrs. Park watches from the sideline. He quickly get in his role, act as a professional tutor, makes Mrs. Park from a spectacle attitude to a belief that he was profession. Soon he get his first substantial income. Furthermore, he adapts to the Park's family opulent and detached culture and fitting into the organizational environment to maintain his position. This factor caused him to success, and the key failing factor is he lies in the ethical dilemma he faces to improve his family circumstances and cause him to involve in deception, manipulation, and taking advantage from others. This factor brings a risk to his success in the long run because his action may catch up with him and endangering his goal. And that's all for me. Now I'll pass to my friend Zhan.
Okay, thank you, Ziming. My name is Zhan. So I'm going to present about one of the key characters of Parasite, and her name is Yong-kyo. So Yong-kyo is portrayed by Cho Yoon-jun. She is wife of Mr. Park, and Yong-kyo is despite as naive and gullible, often obvious to the true intention of those around her. And Yong-kyo become a target for manipulation due to her innocence and desire for the best for her family. As the story unfolds, the Kims take advantage of a vulnerability using their position to exploit the Park and gain personal benefits. So for the individual behavior, we have the personality and values. So for the Yong-kyo personality, she is emotional, naive, and curiosity. Yong-kyo displays a curiosity, engaging in conversation with the Kim family and showing interest in their lives and experiences. For the emotional personality, she exhibits emotional response to the behavior of her family members and external circumstances, which impact her decision and action. And for the naivety, Yong-kyo is initially portrayed as naive, lacking skepticism, and easily manipulated by others. So for motivation, she is accommodating and seeks to create a comfortable environment for her family, going to great lengths to meet their needs and desires. So for ability, she is very stable. She values stability and order in her life, striving to preserve a picture-perfect household and maintain the illusion of success. So for roles of perfection, Yong-kyo placed high value on material wealth and luxury, seeking to maintain a comfortable and opulent lifestyle. So for the perception of self and others, so for the initial, Yong-kyo initially sees herself as a wealthy, privileged woman living a comfortable life. She takes pride in her social status and the material possession that come with it. So for Shiv, Yongkyo is very fragility and vulnerability. Yongkyo's perception of herself revealing her emotional fragility and vulnerability to manipulation. The Kim family. Initially, Yongkyo perceived the Kim family as trustworthy individuals who can fulfill important roles in her household. She viewed them as dedicated professionals as the driver and tutors for her children. So after the deception and betrayal, the Yongkyo perception of Kim family changed dramatically. She realized that they have been deceiving her and feels a sense of betrayal. So for the workplace, emotional attitudes and stress, emotional sense of satisfaction and pride. Yongkyo feels emotion in her workplace are not directly shown. However, given her materialistic values and desire for stability, it can be referred that she likely experienced a sense of satisfaction and pride in an affluent lifestyle. So for attitudes, her accommodating nature and willingness to provide the best for her family may extend to her professional life as well. She is likely to approach her work with diligence and a desire to maintain a positive image. So for stress, we can say that she is very stressful with her social status. The pursuit of maintaining a luxury lifestyle, upholding social expectation, and meeting the demands of her family could potentially lead to stress and anxiety. So for the employee motivation, for the effort, desire for excellence, Yongkyo driven by her materialistic value and desire to maintain a certain image, likely expect excellence from her employees. She may place importance on high standard of performance and professionalism, especially when it comes to a service provided to her family members. So for performance, Yongkyo's primary motivation as employee may stem from her commitment to ensure the well-being success of her family. She hired professionals like an art therapist and English tutor to provide the best opportunity for her children, indicating her dedication to their growth and development. So for the outcome, Yongkyo may value stability within a household and workplace. She may seek employees who can contribute to maintaining a harmonious and orderly environment, thereby reinforcing her desire for stability. So for the decision making and creativity, Yongkyo decision making tends to be influenced by emotional vulnerability and stability. She often makes decisions based on her immediate feelings and perceived needs for family members. Her trusting natures and susceptibility to manipulation by Kim family impact her decision making. In this leading her to make choices that ultimately benefits the Kims at her own expense. But creativity is not a central aspect of Yongkyo's character in the film. She is portrayed more as a more product of her affluent background and societal expectation rather than an individual who actively engaged in creativity endeavors. So for team process by Yongkyo, team dynamics and team communication. So Yongkyo plays a certain role as a matriarch of the Park family. As the head of the household, her character set the tone for the overall team dynamic. So Yongkyo's position and authority influence the interaction and relationship between the members of household. Her role as the employee shapes the power dynamic and establishes the hierarchy within the team. Yongkyo's character participates in the collaboration and coordination with her employees. She communicates her expectations and requirements, giving instruction to the Kim family members on their respective tasks. This is an example of the team communication. So for the conflict and negotiation in workplace, the conflict primarily focus on the dynamic between the Kim family and the Park family, with Yongkyo representing the affluent employee rather than the employee herself. However, we can explore some scenes that involve conflict and negotiation within the context of Yongkyo interaction with the Kim family. So for the negotiation for employment, one scene shows that the negotiation between the Kim family and Yongkyo when they present themselves as qualified professional seeking employment, the Kim family members manipulate their qualification and present themselves in a way that aligns with Yongkyo expectation, negotiating their roles as the driver and tutors for children. So for the next one is organization process. So there are 5 organization change management. So for the hiring employment process, Yongkyo is responsible for hiring and employing domestic staff for households, including a housekeeper, a driver, and art therapist. She expects these employees to fulfill their respective roles and maintain the smooth functioning of her household. So for the second one is communication and coordination. Yongkyo communicates her expectation to the domestic staff and coordinate their tasks. She interacts with them, providing instruction and addressing any concerns or issues that arise within the household. So for the third one is financial management. Yongkyo oversees the financial matter of the Park family. She handles the household budget, pays the employees' salaries, and manages other expenses related to the family lifestyle and events. So for the fourth one, event planning and hosting. Yongkyo takes charge of organizing and hosting events at her residence. For instance, she arranged a birthday party for her son, coordinating with the staff and ensuring everything is prepared and executed smoothly. And for the conflict resolution, Yongkyo plays a role in resolving conflicts and issues that arise within the household. For example, when a situation arises between her housekeeper and the former housekeeper, she takes steps to mediate and find a resolution. So for the last part, conclusion. The key success and the failing factors for Yongkyo. So the success factor is Yongkyo access to wealth and resources. This is the key success of Yongkyo. It allows her to lead a comfortable and luxury lifestyle, and her financial security enables her to hire domestic staff, live a beautiful home, and afford various amenities. And for the second one is coordinates and communication. She coordinates and communication with her staff, ensuring that the tasks are completed and the household runs smoothly. And her organization skills contribute to the efficient functioning of a home and reflect her success in maintaining a high standard of living. So for Yongkyo, failing factors is naivety and gullibility personality. Because she is portrayed as somewhat naive and easily swayed by manipulators of others, she trusts the Kim family without questioning their credentials or intention, which allows them to infiltrate her household and exploit her trust for their own benefits. And another failing factor is lack of awareness for Yongkyo. Yongkyo remains largely unaware of the underlying tension and struggles faced by those from lower socioeconomic backgrounds. She is disconnected from the harsh realities of life outside her privileged bubble, which make her susceptible to being taken advantage of by Kim family, who seeks to exploit her wealth and privilege. And that's all for my part. Thank you.